Namaskaram, I am L. Srinivasan and this is the third episode on Patanjali Yoga Sutra. In the last episode, we saw about what happens when our minds are intensely concentrated and what happens when our minds are not concentrated. What happens is that when our minds are intensely concentrated, the Purusha lies in its own state. When our minds are not concentrated, we are identified with the 5 modifications. Now, coming to the next sutra, which is the 7th sutra, Viparyayo Mithyajnanam Atadrupa Pratishtham. Viparyayo Mithyajnanam Atadrupa Pratishtham. Here Patanjali is talking about false knowledge or indiscrimination. In the last episode, we saw what those 5 modifications are. Pramana, Viparyaya, Vikalpa, Nidra, Smritayaha. Pramana means right knowledge. Well, we will talk about right knowledge later. Patanjali is explaining each of these 5 modifications in detail. He is starting with the second modification, which is indiscrimination. Pramana, Viparyaya. He is talking about Viparyaya, which is indiscrimination. Indiscrimination is basically assuming something, but at the end it will be false knowledge. There is a concept in Advaita Siddhanta called Rajus Sarpaha, where a person misunderstands a rope as a snake, and after getting some courage and wasting a lot of time, slowly he moves nearer to it, and only then the person realizes that it's just a rope, not a snake. There's also an example from Mahabharata. In Vanaparva, sage Markandeya was explaining Vyadhagita to King Yudhishthir. Vyadhagita means the teaching of a butcher. Markandeya says to Yudhishthir, long time ago there was a young man called Kaushik. He was meditating under a tree. After some time, a bird pooped on his head. He got angry. He looked at the bird, and the bird immediately got burnt and fell dead. Kaushik was really happy because now he has the proof that he has some tapashakti. And now Kaushik goes to the nearby village to have some food. He's asking for some food to the lady of the house in a nearby village. She makes him wait because she was serving food to her husband. And after serving food to her husband, the lady of the house, she goes to Kaushik and says, here, take some food. And now Kaushik was really angry because he was kept waited. He was really angry that he was looking at her very angrily. He just kept looking at her. And after some time, she said, I am not a bird to get burnt. Kaushik was really surprised and he was also very confused. So he asked her, how do you know it? And now she said, if you want to know it, you should go to the nearby village and meet someone called Dharma Vyadhan. And now Kaushik goes and he sees a crowd. It is a crowd covering a butcher shop. And he asks a person, do you know where Dharma Vyadhan resides? And they say, here. This is Dharma Vyadhan. Kaushik was really surprised because he was a butcher. He was cutting animals. So Kaushik thought that maybe there is another Dharma Vyadhan. Before he could move, he saw Sapta Rishis clarifying doubts from this butcher. Then he went to the butcher. Before he could speak, the butcher said, she sent you, ah? And now this guy was completely confused. And he immediately fell on the feet of Dharma Vyadhan and asked him, how do you guys even do these things? And Dharma Vyadhan told, which is called as Vyadhagita, the teaching of Dharma Vyadhan, teaching of a butcher. He says, no work is ugly and no work is impure. And assuming things is very wrong. And he says the truths. What are the truths? Hard work, charity, the Vedas, etc. An example from the 21st century is when a boy and a girl talk to each other, and when the girl smiles a lot, the boy assumes, yeah, there's something. And vice versa also. Assuming things is really wrong, is what this sutra says. Sage Bhartrahari says, Yauvanam dhanasampattihi prabhutvam avivekata ekaikamapi anarthaya kimu yatra chatushtayam. Youth, money, kingship and power. These are the four things that destroy a person. Imagine what will happen if a person has all the four. The only way to fix this is by being humble and not really care about what other people say. And that is the next sutra, which speaks about verbal delusion. Shabda jnananupati vastu shunyo vikalpaha. Shabda jnananupati vastu shunyo vikalpaha. The other man's word should never affect us, even if it is praise or criticism. Now the next sutra, which speaks about sleep. Abhava pratyaya lambana vrittir nidra. Abhava pratyaya lambana vrittir nidra. Sleep is a vritti which embraces the feeling of voidness. Vivekananda gives a very beautiful explanation for this sutra. Now, why do we remember that we have slept? After waking up, we know that we have slept. And why is that? Vivekananda says, during sleep, there are mind waves, and that is why we remember that we have slept. If there are no mind waves, we will not remember. Be it positive or negative, we will not remember. Some people say that they see ghosts and dreadful creatures in their sleep. They also go to temples to cure that. What science says that if we think really intensely on something before sleeping, and there's a good chance that we will dream about that. Well, what Adi Shankara said was, even in the sleeping state and the wakeful state, both are same, both are illusions. Now moving on to the next sutra, which is one of the most important modifications. Smritihi. Pramana is right knowledge, Viparyaya is indiscrimination, Vikalpa is verbal delusion, Nidra is sleep, and the last one is memory. Memory is called Smriti. Now, Patanjali says, Anubhuta Vishaya Sampramoshaha Smritihi. Memory is when the perceived objects do not slip away. Now, what is memory? Vivekananda says, the waves in the lake are only memory. So now what are the basis for memory? In the last episode, I told about Pratyakshanumana Gamaha Pramanani. The three proofs are Pratyaksham, which is direct perception, knowledge through senses. Next one is Anumana, which is inference, knowledge through logic or inference. Third one is Agami, knowledge through reliable source. The next one is Viparyaya. Even Viparyaya can be the basis of memory. Viparyaya means indiscrimination, assuming stuff. Now, whatever is in our memory can be right and wrong. And we have also assumed many stuff. So, even Viparyaya, even Vikalpa, assuming, a verbal delusion. And the next one is Nidra. See, sleep can be the basis of memory also. Isn't memory supposed to be the basis of sleep? Right? Based on the memory only we get our dreams. But what happens is that sometimes, very rarely, people also dream about the future, which is not in the memory at all. So sometimes even sleep can be the basis of memory. So Patanjali says we must not identify ourselves with memory itself. See, science is now trying to enhance the current senses. We want to see more, we want to see small stuff, we want to hear more, and all these things. But even if science is able to find 1,000 more senses, Patanjali is completely cancelling out. For example, if there's a plant growing, if you stop the sunlight, the plant will just move like this and keep growing. But if we kill the plant by cutting its roots, the plant will not be alive. So Patanjali is completely cancelling out memory itself. Now, Vivekananda says memory is the wave in the chitta. Each thought or each knowledge through direct perception, through inference, through reliable source, through indiscrimination, through verbal delusion or through sleep is like a stone thrown in the water which creates ripples and a series of ripples, and this creates waves, and this wave is only memory. And that is why only when we revise more and more, we keep remembering stuff. If we don't revise, sometimes we just forget it. The next sutra is one of the most important sutra in this chapter. Abhyasa Vairagyabhyam Tannirodhaha. Abhyasa Vairagyabhyam Tannirodhaha. The yogi's control is via practice and non-attachment. Practice or perseverance and non-attachment. Abhyasam means perseverance and Vairagyabhyam means dispassion or non-attachment. The mind to have non-attachment and perseverance, one must be clear, good and rational. Why should we practice? Right? Why should we practice? Because each action is like the pulsations quivering over the surface of the lake. As I said before, the lake in the sense is the whole chitta, and the waves in the lake are the vibrations of the mind. Now each vibrations, when they die out, they leave an impression which is called as samskaras. As I said before in the previous sutra, the memory creates, each memory creates a ripple in the lake, which creates waves, and when they die out, when they fade out, we forget them. But when they die out, they leave samskaras, impressions. For example, we know that we have studied so and so, but we just don't remember them because of the samskaras. Vivekananda says all impressions together create habit of the man. He says habit is the second nature of human. The samskaras, the impressions which are left out by the vibrations of the mind, leave each and every mark, and the sum total of all these marks is the character of the particular person. If good prevails, the person is good. If bad prevails, the person is bad. If there is joyfulness, the person is happy. The only way to counter bad habits is by using the good habits. This is literally the essence of Samaveda. Dhanena adhanam shraddhaya ashraddham satyenanrutam. If we can't do something, we should at least try to fake it. Fake it and make it. If we are not able to do charity, the only way is to act as if we are doing charity, and this will lead us to doing charity. Krodhena akrodham. If we are always angry, we should just try to act as if we are not angry, and this will lead us to being peaceful. Shraddhaya ashraddham. If we are always lazy, we should try to act as if we are not lazy, and this will lead us to being active. Satyenanrutam. If we are always lying, if we are not able to say the truth, we should just try to act and try to say the truth. The intensity of perseverance is very important. For example, the Indian independence struggle. For generations and generations, people struggled to get this independence. And today we talk about silly things. I think we just forgot how much struggle our ancestors have put in to get this independence. An example from the Puranas is the story of, obviously, the Bhagiratha. Because even today, when we see someone who has done a lot of hard work, we say Bhagiratha Prayatnam. He has done as much hard work as Bhagiratha. Long time ago, there was a king called Sagar. He was performing Ashwamedha Yajna. Now what happens is that when we perform Ashwamedha Yajna, the person gets a lot of tapashakti, and Indra doesn't like it. So before the yajna could end, Indra stole the Ashwamedha, the horse, the sacrificial horse, and kept the horse near sage Kapila, who was in Kapilaranyam. The 60,000 sons of Sagar went searching for the horse. They searched the entire earth and they couldn't find it. Went to Kapilaranyam, the place where Kapila was residing, and they saw the horse was next to him. The 60,000 sons thought that it was this sage who stole the horse, and they abused him. Sage Kapila opened his eyes, and all the 60,000 sons got burned to ashes. Now Sagar's another son, Anshuman, went searching for the 60,000 sons as well as the sacrificial horse, and he took the same route. He went to the Netherland and he found sage Kapila. He was very humble. He gave respects to sage Kapila, and sage Kapila gave him the sacrificial horse. And Kapila told him, if you want your 60,000 brothers to reach heaven, the Ganges must touch their ashes. Now Anshuman started meditating so that Ganges can flow on these ashes, but Anshuman failed. Anshuman's son tried but failed. Anshuman's grandson tried but failed. Anshuman's great grandson, called Bhagiratha, tried. He took a vow that he will not ascend the throne unless and until he's able to bring Ganges to the ashes. And Bhagiratha meditates and meditates and meditates and meditates. And that's why we say Bhagiratha Prayatnam. At last, Bhagiratha is successful and the Ganges touches these ashes. Now, Kapilaranyam, the place where Kapila resides, today is known as California. And there is a place called Ash Island and Horse Island. Ash Island is a place where these 60,000 suns got burnt to ashes. And the Horse Island is the place where Indra kept the sacrificial Ashwamedha horse. As a seeker, how many years will it take? Lord Shri Krishna explains in the Bhagavad Gita chapter 6, Aneka janma samsiddhaha tato yapi parangatim. It will take thousands of years, thousands of births to get that perfection. The next sutra says, Tatra sthitau yatno bhyasaha. Continuous struggle to keep them perfectly restrained is practice. In the previous sutra, we saw why we should practice. Now this says, what is practice? Keeping them completely restrained perfectly is practice.